we argued for so long, so many years about nobody cares. No one watches the national team. And now you have a wild hair up your ass because somebody tells you that you sucked in the game. Like, do you think none of us went through any of that?
So some strong words from two of our better players on the U.S. men's national team. You know what we should do? We should have them on our podcast and see if they want to talk it out a little bit. Or actually, we did that. Check our interview with Christian Pulisic from a while back ahead of the Gold Cup. That's, I think, where all this, part of it got started at least. Yeah. So Tones, I'm coming to you first. You have more experience playing for the national team than me and Charlie combined. You've grown the game. We were standing on your shoulders. You've seen it all. What's your take now on these retorts? Let's say from Christian.
Give me from your perspective, Tony,
and Tim Weah.
And from like their perspective, like this group, because you also coach these guys with the youth national team, so you know them intimately. You've seen them close and personal. So I'm really curious.
Agreed.
How do you feel about where they're coming from, but also the messaging around former players?
Yeah, so I broke it down by statement here. So the cop-out thing with Landon Donovan, the players don't want it. That Landon addresses that Christian says, players don't want it. This is what pundits say. I agree with Christian here. I think players give effort all the time. Because for me, if you ever question a player's effort, then the guy shouldn't be there anyway. That doesn't mean you play good or you play bad. Effort is one thing that I think I've told you guys privately as well, like while we're doing shows. It's the one thing that's really tricky to call people out on, because then you're calling them out on their integrity. So that part of it, the whole thing about laying on the field and all of that stuff, I know what Landon's trying to say, but I'm just like, leave that part alone for now, because the guys give effort, period. The chasing checks from Timothy Weah, just a young kid. So are we criticizing or are we analyzing, right? Should we not analyze the Copa America and how miserable a performance that was? Should we not analyze the Nations League was in LA, right? And how terrible that was? Or should we just go, oh, this is one big kumbaya and this golden generation is just, they'll get it done at the World Cup. Like, I don't understand that part. That's the part. Evil. I don't know that any of us are evil. We're doing our jobs, right? We get paid. We argued for so many years about nobody cares. No one watches the national team. And now you have a wild hair up your ass because somebody tells you that you sucked in the game. Like, do you think none of us went through any of that? And even worse, we just didn't have enough of it. It wasn't national news, but you read about it. You heard about it all the time. This is nothing new. Can you imagine the pressure if you're an Argentinian player or if you're an English player? You guys all play over in Europe. You know what it's like in Italy, how much they're getting bashed as a national team, right? And then, look, you guys know I've been friends with Mark Pulisic for a long time. We played together at the youth level when we were U18s or 19. It's a long time ago, right? Which I hate telling you about. But you got to stay out, Mark. I know you're a dad. I know you get emotional. Your kid's at the top of the heap, right? I got other friends that in other sports that their kids right now are at the top of the heap, right? In other major sports in America. They listen to this all the time about their kids. You can't respond, right? Stay out, right? Christian's a big boy. He'll be able to do this on his own, and he'll be able to carry this team if we just – I feel like – I don't know how you guys feel. You're both ex-national team players. I feel like there's a big divide between this team and anyone else in and around the national team that's ever been associated with. And I will say this now that I'm on the subject. In that Landon Donovan interview, and then I'll get off my soapbox here, Tim Howard said at one point, I'm paraphrasing, so you guys might be able to help me. I'm not friends with these guys. I'm not a mentor to these guys. Something to that effect, right? I get paid handsomely to do this job.
Yeah.
I wish guys like Tim Howard were mentors to these guys. I wish he would change his stance on this and become a mentor, because they need it as much as we all needed it when we were younger. And I think that's in that same interview that we showed the clip from Landon Donovan. So there's my take on this whole thing. All a bunch of BS from everyone. We're doing our jobs. Those guys are doing their jobs to give opinions. And their jobs, and when I say theirs, Christian, Timothy, and that entire group, is to go punch above your weight like apparently every other national team has done before in the history of our game. Right? If they all thought we sucked and we only had grit and determination, well, guess what? We punched way above our weight.
Well, Tommy, what do you make of Timothy saying all these guys who are talking, they haven't done anything? They haven't done anything. Good. I don't really give a shit. I really don't. I haven't done anything. So my career sucked. I haven't done anything. That's perfect. That doesn't mean that your team did well in Copa America. It doesn't mean your team did well in Nations League. So then my career, your career, Jimmy's career, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your job now is to punch above your weight at the World Cup. Period. End of story. Our careers don't matter in any of this. We're here just to give opinions. You know what they say about opinions, right? I can't give you the rest of the saying, but why are you listening? And by the way, what did they win? Right? What have they won? If we want to do that, if we want to play that game,
have a signature win, right?
Okay, I don't want to. I hate going there, but I mean, if we're gonna talk about it honestly, what? Just go play at the World Cup and do what we think you can do. Period. And right now, this team is not where we thought they would be. Period. I can't imagine Weah, McKennie, Pulisic, Musa, Anthony Robinson, any of these guys think that their team, as it currently stands, is where they thought it would be coming off the field against the Netherlands in 2022. Period.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that this is where
I can certainly attest to that. I mean, just think about everything that has unfolded since that Netherlands loss with Berhalter, with the Reynas, with and then BJ Callahan taking over, right? And then Berhalter coming back, then the Copa America disaster, to some of these friendlies where you're saying, what's going on, to now Pochettino. You say, okay, we got a world-class coach. This is a manager who's coached Messi and Mbappe in their primes, who's got Tottenham to a Champions League final. Surely everything's going to be fixed now, right? It's the coaching. So you got a coach, now you're good. And we're not any further than we were with Berhalter. So who's it on? It's not us. We're pundits. We're just giving we are giving our thoughts based on our experience. And guess what? All of us who are in this business have played the game. And for the guys who are doing it on the biggest stage, we've all played the game at the highest level against the best players. And we can all say we've had a signature moment with the national team. So we can give that perspective and what it meant for the group and how we achieved that goal from the group. So sometimes when I see players, because I'll never forget after the Confederations Cup, and we had this incredible run, and Clint Dempsey was on fire. But leading up to that, John Harkes, he was in the media, and he was crushing Clint. Well, guess what? We saw John Harkes down the line at a World Cup qualifier, and him and Clint had their face off, and it was handled there. Nothing after, and nothing since. Really, it's been that simple of being like, hey, is there a problem? Hey, let's squash it, done, and it's over and moved on. But I just feel that at the moment, it is so divisive. And it's not just players and media. It feels like it's divisive between the media organizations, like the groups, and the players. And then you have one faction of players who are the MLS guys who aren't really getting a proper shake of things, who aren't really counted on. And you have these guys who are just, I'm so hungry to play, I want to play, and maybe the quality's not there. And then you have the guys who are all in Europe. And, when we look at it, the matter of fact is the guys in Europe are making so much more money than players in the past ever did. And so I remember when certainly, Tony, when you played, the national team was essential because you needed that salary as well to kind of go with your paycheck with MLS. That there's no
100%.
doubt about that. Now you're at a position where a lot of these guys are playing in Europe. If the national team doesn't happen for them, they're good. They don't need it to survive like a salary. It's got to come from the heart. It's all about passion. So I think when we're looking at this current group, they take things a lot more personal. I think it's a little bit more sensitive from them. And, you know, unfortunately, I think the country's relying on them and putting a lot of pressure on them to take this game forward the same way that you did, Tony. And maybe it was unexpected in how far you guys were able to go. But now that this group is playing in Europe and playing against some of the best competition and playing in the best competitions against the best in the world, the hope is that they can carry the game forward in 2026. And the reality of the situation is it's not where it needs to be for them to do that.
I know. You're sad. We've come to the end of the video. But if you want more average to good content from your favorite former U.S. men's national team players, this is the channel to make it happen. Go look at our other videos. Go look at our playlists. And if you want more of the content, the best way to make that happen is to hit like, hit subscribe, and then turn on all of your notifications so that you do not miss anything that we drop or when we go live or whatever it may be. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.